Well, the motivation behind that press conference was clear because Karine Jean-Pierre said it plainly. We want to turn the page. We want America to turn the page. We are hoping to turn the page. I mean, she said it 3 times. That was quite clear. The page is not turning because there was a lack of answers to the critical fundamental question that was being asked, which is, what happened? What happened that all of America saw? So Karine Jean-Pierre kept saying, we're not trying to ignore reality. We understand and acknowledge what America saw and witnessed, and that was a really bad night, and that was a bad debate. And we acknowledge that. But she does not offer one bit of evidence or reasoning or rationale for why. Why did America see what they saw that night? And there were a lot of questions asked by the White House press corps. You know, can we get more medical records? Can you bring the doctor in here and make them available? Is it time to do a cognitive test? You didn't do one in the last. And there was just none acceptance of that kind of a premise. It was just one bad night. We acknowledge that. But she's missing explaining to the country fundamentally why.
Well, I mean, CNN is surprised by this, but I'm not surprised because if you have been watching Karine Jean-Pierre in these press conferences since she got the job, yeah, I mean, this is par for the course. She never answers any questions. She is a useless person, right? I'm not sure why we're even having press conferences anymore with her, right? Because the press never gets any solid answers from her in regards to what's going on with the administration. I mean, the American people are being left in the dark by the least transparent administration in American history. Okay, that's not an exaggeration. Okay, there's no transparency with this administration. And at this point, I think that the press should revolt against Karine Jean-Pierre because her answers that she gave were unacceptable. Okay, she continues to try to tell, oh, it was just one bad night. Oh, well, what you saw before the past. Oh, cheap fakes. She can't tell us anything about the president's health. She can't give us an explanation on why we saw what we saw. But again, we all know why we saw what we saw, right? We all know why. And they know why as well, too, which is why she don't want to talk about it, which is why she's avoiding answering questions. Okay? In the ideal world, this woman would have been fired. But no, she can't be fired because she has too many infinity stones of wokeness. Okay, she's black, she's a woman, and she's a lesbian. Okay, she got 3. Okay, so if the White House were to actually get rid of her, like they wanted to, apparently a few years ago, right, they actually wanted to get rid of her, but she decided that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to go anywhere because she thinks she's doing an amazing job because nobody actually tells her that she's doing a bad job because, again, she's black, she's a woman, she's a lesbian. Can't criticize those people or else you're racist, right? If she actually was fired, that is what she'd be doing. She'd be boo-hoo, whining and crying. Racism, right? Just like what's happening right now with Kamala Harris, okay? There are rumors that if Joe Biden actually steps down, the Democrats do not want to replace him with Kamala Harris because she is not much better than Joe Biden at this point. And the Kamala camp apparently, again, is crying racism. They're saying, no, you can't replace Kamala Harris with a white man, okay, because she's a black woman, okay? That's disrespect towards black women. Now, again, at what point are the Democrats going to realize that identity politics do not work? In fact, it often backfires because when you're not putting people in positions of power based off merit, based off how competent they are, then this is what you end up with, right? You end up really stuck with them, okay? Even though they're doing bad at their jobs, right? Democrats can't replace Kamala. They can't replace Karine Jean-Pierre. They can't replace any of their diversity and inclusion hires at all because of accusations of racism and the pushback that they would get for it, right? It's actually pretty hilarious. So now what you're seeing is that the press is fed up, the media is fed up with the lack of answers from the Biden administration, from their affirmative action press secretary. But again, they really can't say too much about it. They really can't criticize her too much because, again, they will be accused of racism, right? So now, again, they're stuck with Joe Biden because they can't really replace him with Kamala, right? They're stuck with Kamala, okay? And they're stuck with Karine Jean-Pierre. They're stuck with incompetence. And incompetent people like Karine Jean-Pierre coming out here and giving this non-explanation for what we saw just makes the Biden administration look even worse. It looks like all of the people that are running the Democrat Party are either extremely incompetent, they're liars and gaslighters, or they have some mental issues, right? Look at Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and maybe even Kamala Harris as well, to throw them in there when it comes to mental issues, incompetence, Kamala, Karine Jean-Pierre, gaslighting, lying, again, all the Democrats, really, to be quite honest with you, all they do is gaslight and lie. Again, it's just a complete and total embarrassment, not just for themselves, but for the country as a whole. The world is watching, and they're saying that we are the weakest that we've ever been because our leadership is quite literally the weakest that it's ever been. It is a damn shame. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.